The issue is that when you look at cement is what builds infrastructure. In Nigeria alone, we have about 17,000 deficit of housing, and it is all over in Africa. So when we started cement in Nigeria, we realized that majority of it was actually imported.
And so now you're the largest cement manufacturer in Nigeria?
We are the largest cement manufacturer in sub-Saharan Africa.
Everyone talks about Apple, Tesla, Amazon, and other companies that changed how we live, how we buy, and how we think. But while the world was watching Silicon Valley, something bigger was happening in Africa. A company that started trading bags of cement in 1977 now runs the world's largest single oil refinery. It produces more cement than entire countries consume. It supplies millions of farms with locally made fertilizer, employing 30,000 people across 10 African nations. And in 2024, it did what Nigeria's government couldn't do in 50 years. It finally refined the country's own oil. The Dangote Group has been currently rewriting the rules of African business, turning a continent known for exporting raw materials into a manufacturing powerhouse. Today, every bag of cement, every ton of sugar, every barrel of refined fuel has built a fortune worth over $13 billion. And it all started with a $3,000 loan. This is the story of how one company stopped accepting Africa's role as a consumer and started building it into a producer. Welcome to AfriWealthWise, where we uncover the stories of African enterprises that saw what others missed and built what others said was impossible. Let's go back to Lagos in 1977. If you've ever been to Lagos, you know the ports are always buzzing. Ships constantly unloading cargo, rice from Thailand, sugar from Brazil, and cement from Europe. That same year, a 20-year-old named Aliko Dangote borrowed $3,000 from his uncle and started buying these imports in bulk, breaking them down into smaller loads and selling them across northern Nigeria. It was profitable. Within 3 months, he had repaid the entire loan. By 1981, he incorporated the Dangote Group as a formal trading company. Here's what set these companies apart. Dangote wasn't just moving goods around to make a quick profit. He was studying the market, watching Nigeria's imports bills pile up, seeing how foreign exchange kept draining away, and noticing how construction projects kept stalling because cement shipments were always delayed. And so, he started asking a question that would shape the next 40 years. Why was Nigeria importing things it could actually make itself? For over a decade, the Dangote Group kept trading commodities ranging from sugar and flour to salt and steel. The company wasn't manufacturing anything yet. Instead, it was learning which products had the most steady demand, which imports were hurting Nigeria's economy the most. Most traders would have just stayed traders, lower risk, faster returns, simpler operations. But by the early 1990s, the company made a decision that would change everything. It would stop just trading goods and start making them instead. This wasn't a small pivot. Building factories meant borrowing millions, navigating unclear government policies, and waiting years before seeing anything in return. But the Dangote Group saw something others missed. Nigeria's population was over 100 million and growing fast. Infrastructure was expanding, and the demand for cement, sugar, and food staples was exploding. Whoever controlled local production would control the market. By the mid-1990s, Nigeria was building fast. Construction was happening everywhere. But cement prices were high and supply was unpredictable because Nigeria was importing nearly all of it. That's when the Dangote Group built its first cement plant. This wasn't a pilot project. It was a full industrial facility designed to produce cement at scale. Critics said it was reckless, that foreign competitors would crush them, but they were wrong. Within a few years, the company opened more plants across Nigeria. Then it started expanding beyond the country's borders: Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Zambia, and Cameroon. By 2025, Dangote Cement was operating in 10 African countries with a production capacity of 48.6 million metric tons annually. It had become the largest cement producer in Africa. Cement prices began to drop, construction costs fell, and thousands of jobs were created. But most importantly, money that used to flow to European cement companies was now staying in Africa. The Dangote Group didn't stop at cement. It looked at what else Nigeria was importing and began producing those things locally. The Dangote Sugar Refinery became one of Africa's largest sugar producers. Nascon Allied Industry began producing salt. Then came the flour mills. Then in 2021, the company opened Africa's largest fertilizer plant with a capacity of 3 million metric tons annually. Farmers could now buy locally produced fertilizers at lower prices, crop yield increased, and food production grew. Each new industry didn't just create profits, it solved a real national problem. But the company made its boldest move in 2013. Nigeria was pumping 2 million barrels of crude oil daily, yet the company was importing almost all of its refined fuel from Europe and America. Nigeria's 4 government-owned refineries were out of service, producing nothing. Nigerians were stuck exporting crude oil, then buying back as refined fuel at a massive price. That's when the Dangote Group announced plans to build Africa's largest oil refinery. With a capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, it cost $20 billion to build. People thought it was impossible. Critics said the technical challenges were enormous. Nigeria's infrastructure was unreliable and corruption could derail the project. But construction began in Lagos in 2013 anyway. Immediately, problems surfaced. The site was swampy. Engineers had to pump 65 million cubic meters of sand to stabilize the land and drive 250,000 foundation pipes deep into the ground. Foreign contractors delivered faulty equipment, and models had to be redesigned mid-construction. At one point, there were 67,000 workers on site, the largest workforce ever assembled for a single project in Africa. When COVID-19 hit in 2020, the company chartered private planes to fly in foreign specialists so work could continue. Costs kept skyrocketing, deadlines kept slipping, and critics kept saying the project would never finish. But then, in January 2024, the Dangote Refinery began producing diesel and jet fuel. By mid-2024, it was refining over 300,000 barrels per day. It had become the world's largest single-train refinery, not just in Africa, but anywhere. And for the first time in decades, Nigeria could refine its own oil. But success always brings enemies. As soon as the refinery started production, government agencies pushed back. The head of Nigeria's downstream petroleum regulator publicly claimed the refinery was producing low-grade diesel. The Dangote Group fired back immediately by releasing lab results showing that its diesel had just 87.6 parts per million of sulfur, far cleaner than imported fuel, which often exceeded 1,500 ppm. The company accused state agencies of protecting the import cartel that had been profiting for years. This had become a battle over Nigeria's economic future. For decades, powerful interests had been making billions importing fuel. The refinery threatened that entire system. This wasn't the first time the Dangote Group faced political resistance. Back in 2007, the Nigerian government tried to privatize two of its broken refineries. The Dangote Group, through its consortium Blue Star, won the bid, but labor unions protested, claiming the deal was corrupt. And under intense pressure, the new administration cancelled the sale completely. It was a harsh lesson, but instead of giving up, the company redirected that energy. If the government wouldn't sell its refineries, then they would build its own. And that's exactly what it did. Running operation at this scale comes with constant challenges. In 2025, the refinery faced maintenance issues. There were allegations of sabotage. Equipment kept breaking down. Government agencies delayed approvals, and currency fluctuations wiped out profit margins. But the Dangote Group absorbed every blow and kept moving forwards. The Dangote Group employs over 30,000 people directly and supports hundreds of thousands more through its supply chain. The cement plant reduced construction costs across Africa, making homes, schools, and hospitals more affordable. The fertilizer plant increased food production, and the refinery, once at full capacity, is expected to save Nigeria $10 billion in foreign exchange annually. This is what industrialization looks like. It's not just about building factories. It's about creating an entire ecosystem that lifts communities out of poverty. Back in 1994, the company established the Aliko Dangote Foundation. In 2014, the foundation received an endowment of $1.25 billion, the largest single donation by any African in history. Today, it spends $35 million every year on programs across Africa. During Nigeria's 2024 to 2025 hunger crisis, the foundation distributed over 1 million bags of rice. It partnered with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to help eradicate polio in Nigeria, achieved in 2015. Dangote has said, "My grandfather once told me, the soul of business is not making money, but making people happy." So what can young entrepreneurs learn from this journey? First, identify the gaps in your market. The company looked at what Nigeria was importing: cement, sugar, fertilizer, fuel, and asked, why can't we make this here? Look around your country. What's being imported that could be produced locally? That gap is your opportunity. Secondly, think long-term and reinvest relentlessly. Dangote has said, "I built a conglomerate and emerged the richest black man in the world in 2008. But it didn't happen overnight. It took me 30 years. Youths of today aspire to be like me, but they want to achieve it overnight. It's not going to work." Real wealth is built over decades. Profits isn't just for spending, it's fuel for growth. From $3,000 to Africa's largest industrial conglomerate. This happened because someone believed Africa could produce world-class goods, not just consume them. Someone was willing to wait years for returns when everyone else wanted quick money. Now the question is, who's next? AfriWealthWise is all about helping Africans spot those hidden opportunities and step into them with confidence. If you're serious about building wealth and understanding how African enterprises are reshaping the continent, join the community. Hit subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and share this with someone who needs that extra push. Because together, we're not just chasing money, we are rewriting Africa's economic story, one smart decision at a time.